Yo, what's up my man? Welcome back to Hyperlemon GT. It's been a while since the last video, but today we're going to be doing a FIA GT Manufacturers Championship. So, I've already done some qualifying and qualified in P1. There I am, it's a Hyperlemon 22. So 114.7, then a Japanese guy starting in P2 in his Mazda. Then we have Mr. BJT 3121 in P3. Fellow Thai, Wind Million, P4. JMR 955 from Thailand as well. Getting a few Thais in this race. EG from Japan. And then we got Cannondale 2016, must be a bit of a cyclist that guy. Advan, I guess he likes tyres. Monster Evo 7, chose the wrong car there, got a Porsche instead of the Evo. Mr. Taro 2 in P10. Here's Nicolo Gighartz from Japan. The names are never very easy to pronounce in Japanese. Yep, so there's P13 in some kind of Volkswagen, and Hiroki 17 in his Ferrari. Coming up to the back now at Maui 69 RW, and finally Hong AC 115 from Thailand, filling up the rest of the grid. Okay, cool. So let's get the race underway. Quick note, I hope my sound quality is substantially better this time. I found there was a problem with my microphone. It was the extension cable which I bought from AliExpress. Now I just plug my microphone directly into my computer. Okay, so the race is underway. So starting in P1, coming up to the first corner. Now these guys are generally B-rated sportsmanship, so they should be generally quite clean races. Now into turn 2, and okay, punted off into the wall by Mr. BJT from Australia. Okay, so not the best start. Now back in P12 and 6 seconds behind the leader, almost 7 seconds. It's going to be doable to get a win from here, but not so easy. Okay, let's see if we can get Mr. JMR 9555. No, he's pulling away. Don't look like we're going to get him on this corner. So we're just got to keep it clean, brake, hit the apex nicely. Getting up close to him, but I go out wide because it looks like a bit of a train and crashes could happen. And down the inside of 2 people there. It wasn't a super clean move. I did lean on them a bit, but it was okay. And that guy there just basically driving into the side of me. I had the inside line. Anyway. Okay, now Nico Gighartz in his Mercedes. So we're in the slipstream. I think the Mercedes is a bit quicker down the straights than the Porsche. But I think the Porsche is better in the corners. So can we get him down the inside here? Yeah, quite easily. He's giving me a bit of a push. Guess he didn't like me overtaking him. And down the inside of the Porsche, giving him a bit of a push out the way there. And now coming up to Advan. Oh, a bit of a crash there from the Japanese guy and the Mercedes, who looks like he's now spun, looking in the mirror. Okay, so let's see if we can get Advan. And the lead is now actually 7 seconds away, so we're losing time from the leader because we're having to overtake all these other guys. Okay, so gaining on Advan quite nicely. He's got a bit of a beat up back end there. Okay, down the inside, fairly easy move there. Now coming up to the British car, the Aston Martin EEG. So I think we can get in this slipstream and get quite close by the end of this corner. Maybe even get down the inside, but it's quite some distance to do that. Ah, Oh, he's going for the block. Giving a little bit of a nudge there. He's trying to block again. But yeah, let's go down the inside and boom, he turns straight into me. Okay, so now up into P4 from I think P12. But still 6.5 seconds behind the leader. So it could be tricky to catch them. Okay, so we skip a lap there. I was basically spending that lap catching up with Cannondale 2016. It's a couple of years out of date now, but I'm sure he's still doing alright. Okay, so he didn't get a very good exit there, so I can nip alongside him for this next corner. So I have the inside line and I brake a bit late and go wide. So basically Cannondale 2016 is back ahead of me, so I'm in P4 again. We skip a lap, so I was basically spending that lap again catching up with Cannondale 2016. Where he goes wide again. And we're back at the same corner where he made a mistake last lap. And doesn't get a very good exit from there. I think he needs to practice a bit on that corner. Okay, so we can get alongside him this time, and I will brake a bit earlier this time so I don't go wide. And Cannondale instead brakes too late this time and goes wide. For some reason I got a 3-second penalty there. I guess I was a bit unclean. Turned into him a bit. Okay, so skipping another 5 laps. No, sorry, 3 laps. Just spending that time catching up with the Japanese guy I can't pronounce him. Let's just call him Karo. So easy move on Karo, just down the inside. Turn 1, obviously he just went a bit too quickly into it. And the guy in P1, Mr. BJT, the guy who took me out on lap 1, made a mistake. So we're now up close to the back of him. So I guess he wasn't expecting to see me again after his nudge. So we're getting on him a bit, but he's reasonably quick, so maybe we can't quite get him yet. Let's skip to the end of this lap. I'm actually going to go into the pits now, 1 lap early, because I don't want to overtake him directly on circuit. Maybe we can overtake him in the pits instead. So coming into the pits, not so many people. I think we have 9 people working on the car, not like F1 where they have about 22. And now refueling, so we need 11 laps of fuel. Yeah, I put in a little bit too much, but I'm sure it's not going to slow us down too much. Okay, now back onto the circuit in P7, P8. Ah, there's the Thai guy, P7. Okay, so I don't think that was a very good move going into the pits 1 lap early, because I think these group of yellow cars is probably going to slow me down a bit. Yeah. GMR made a nice move there. He's up into P5 now. Okay, so Porsche didn't get a super good exit. Let's see if we can get him on the next corner. So I'm taking a narrow line and I'm going to go out wide here. Oops. Bit of an impact there between the two, causing me to go wide as well, and boom, that was a bit of an impact for Taro too there. Kind of worked alright for me, but yeah. And now I'm just basically skip a lap and I'm removing that penalty I had. Yeah, because I think it's easier to, if I remove the penalty now than at the end. So we can have a clean race and just focus on the pace for the rest of the race now. But now back in P5 and again 8 seconds away from the leader and 9 laps. I think that's going to be a hard push, to be honest. The easy move on the Porsche there, he just turns into me. I don't know if he was expecting to block the move last second there or he was just trying to be annoying, I'm not so sure.
Okay, anyway, I just skipped 5 laps because there wasn't much happening, and just catching up with Mr. Caro. And again, we try and go down the inside of Caro. So it's a bit of a drag race down the straight here. He's still in front of me by 0.044 seconds, 0.03 now. But I have the inside line, so I should just be able to hold the inside line, and it should be fairly easy move, which it was. And that move is done. So 4 seconds away now from Mr. BJT. And 3 laps remaining, so we're going to get second a lap, which is going to be quite a push. So let's see how we can do. So there he is, he's in the distance, we can see him, he's 4 seconds away. And hit the apex in this corner, trying not out too wide. It looks like BJT made a mistake on the exit of that corner. We caught up with him very quickly there. So only a second and 3 laps. I mean, this should be doable. Less than a second now. Let's see if we can gain on the straight. Yeah, gaining slowly. I mean, we're not going to have him this corner, I think. But certainly we can gain on him. Okay, the key to this corner is just like keep it narrow, like really narrow. Oh, he scraped the wall. And it should be an easy move down the inside now. Ups, and then again he just decides to turn into me. Maybe a last minute block, but as we saw from the F1 race this weekend in Baku, that kind of move which Verstappen pulled on Ricciardo, basically 70% his fault. Okay, and then just now to the end of the race, so end up winning by 3 seconds. So quite an eventful race, basically going from P1 to P12, back to I think P2, then back to P5, and then eventually to the win. So Thailand, decent representation there, P1, P4 and P14. Yeah, Mr. Pong AC didn't do that well. But anyway, I think it was a reasonably successful, eventful race, and Japanese getting a lot of entries as usual. And now we have BJT, somehow he ended up in P3, I guess. He made a couple more mistakes before the end of the race. Australians, yeah, not many of them, but they seem to do alright in rating. Anyway, cool, so this was try to make another video within a week. Hope you enjoyed it. As usual, I have to say, please like, subscribe and comment on the video, even though I don't really get many comments, but I like them when I do, usually respond. Cool. So it's a very dramatic noise from the win. Not very celebratory, to be honest. It's just like a very subtle winning song. Puma getting a bit of product placement there. There we go. Victory.